I would say you don't actually do that, because if you're going to tell me that you knowingly are deceiving yourself, then you know you're not actually deceiving yourself. So what you're really doing is convincing yourself to act as if you believe rather than actually believing.
Yeah, I could say it's more like hoping,
Yeah,
essentially.
I don't really have a problem with hope. I mean, I'd like for hope to be put on a fairly solid foundation, and for the thing that people are hoping for to at least be attainable or reasonable. I mean, I could sit here all day long and hope that I could flap my arms and fly away to Tahiti, but we know that's not going to happen. And when it comes to an afterlife, we don't have any good evidence for an afterlife. We have mountains of evidence against it. And we know that the various afterlives that have been proposed wind up putting people in incredibly difficult positions because they don't know how to deal with life, or they don't know how to deal with the death, which is the eventual consequence of life. So, which afterlife are you afraid of losing or afraid of getting?
Um, it's the interesting part about that is actually I'm not following the afterlife idea of any of the major religions on earth, but so to speak, I kind of created my own that fits my moral compass.
Convenient, cut out the middleman.
Yeah, so, what, so now I'm even more confused because so you created your own afterlife and you're so afraid of it that you pretend to believe?
Well, I'm not afraid of that afterlife, but the chance of there not being an
I think
afterlife.
he's created a favourable afterlife because it's the death that he's afraid of.
How is this any different from having an imaginary friend because you're afraid you don't have any friends?
I would not have a quick answer on that.
Okay.
Listen, what confuses me is you say that you have a crippling fear of death. I think it's safe to say that most people aren't fond of the idea of dying. Are you able to expand a little bit on how your fear of death is more, let's say, abnormal than that of myself or Matt?
Well, my fear of death mainly is about the ceasing of the existence of my consciousness.
Well, how will you suffer in any way when that happens?
If my consciousness ceases to exist, that cannot possibly hurt me because I will not exist.
But I'm just absolutely feared of just being forgotten and everything I know being forgotten.
Here's the thing. What concerns me is, again, the fear of death is not abnormal. It's in our evolutionary interests to have a fear of death. If you're coming into the atheist experience saying that you have an abnormal or crippling fear of death, this becomes an issue for you to take up with trained professionals who can talk you through that. If this is causing you discomfort in your day-to-day life, a more appropriate response, rather than inventing your own religion, might be to consult with a professional who can guide you through thought techniques that can help you process these kind of what essentially are irrational fears or phobias. That seems to be what you're describing. You shouldn't come to the atheist experience. Not saying that you shouldn't have called in, but I'm saying that the most